Danube, I can hear you, and I will not forget you. I can see you, and I will remember you. I can recreate you, and I can understand you. This is the name of the project the film is telling about. In short, Danube, I can. 3 partners have made joint efforts to implement the project. Lead partner is the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Wrocław, Bulgaria. The Romanian partner is the Center of Consultancy and Project Management, Euro Project. The Bulgarian partner is the Russia Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The total project budget is a little more than 250,000 euro. Most of the funding comes from the European Regional Development Fund under the Interreg VA Romania-Bulgaria Program Priority Acts 2 Green Region. The project goal is to improve the sustainable use of natural heritage and resources and cultural heritage in the cross-border region, the districts of Wrocław and Rusa in Bulgaria and the Olt district in Romania, and to increase the number of tourist overnight stays. Traditions of Misha, Todorka's Sunshine, is the name of the Festival of Ancient Cultures and Traditional Crafts. It took 4 days, from June 21st to June 24th, and the venue was the beautiful area of Valoga near Ohoden village in Wrocław municipality. More than 240 participants enjoyed together in the open air the local heritage and culture. The significance of the location is that it is the site of the Ohoden Neolithic village, which has been in the focus of systematic historical research for decades.
Ние за първи път поехме предизвикателството да включиме това събитие в наш проект.
We took the challenge of integrating this event into one of our projects because it is really emblematic for the region. This is the 3rd festival. The analysis of the first 2 festivals revealed the need of better promotion and visibility, as well as participants coming from other countries, not only from countries in the Balkan region. The festival brings together nature lovers and attracts empathetic archaeologists doing fieldwork. Historians and researchers come here for the 3 roundtables and discussions. Young people at the workshops reconstruct old crafts. They all comprise a wonderful community that is absolutely worth our efforts.
We are in the Valoga area by an early Neolithic site dating from the dawn of the European civilization, a settlement of the first land farmers. This is currently the only site with a registered settlement and a sacrifice pit, with intramural burials that follow a strict order and manifest the deep meaning of ancient land farming cults. Some unique artifacts were found here: a clay altar with deer horns, the only one of its kind for that period in Europe, the jade amulet, which is the emblem of our event and of the festival. There are many artifacts of flint and obsidian. Surprisingly for us, this site reveals sophisticated trade links.
The jade amulet of the Mother Goddess that was found here is on the festival logo. The event is also called Todorka's Sunshine because Todorka was the name given to the first human skeleton from prehistory found on this site. The most valuable archaeological objects from the Ohoden Neolithic village can be seen in the Regional Museum of History in Wrocław. Before the start, on the archaeological site where the festival was organized, a local priest performed a blessing service over the event. The power of word and faith, the power of holy water, bread and wine, appealed for protection and prosperity of the people there and for success in everything they do.
Достояние Твое, сохраняя крестом Твоим жительством.
Este un cadru natural formidabil.
It is a formidable natural environment. The water that is next to us and the forest that surrounds us, everything is absolutely wonderful. Last night I participated, probably for the first time, in the beginning of this project here and the first action of this kind, because I saw there a real archaeological site where discoveries had been made, and it was exciting and interesting at the same time. The service that was done there, the fact that the people who came here to the project were so sensitive and so involved, they were holding candles, they brought bread made specifically for this service. I believe the archaeological discoveries that have been made are only a first step, because there are certainly many more.
Romanian and Bulgarian partners participated in a discussion on the traditions of Misha. The discussion started with descriptions of the variety of activities and the expected outputs. Historians and professionals discussed important issues. The discussions got further heated by the generous July sun under the open summer sky. The festival camp was built under all camping rules. Although the tents could not stop the summer heat, it did not scare the enthusiastic participants. The camp had showers and water. For many, that was the first time to sleep under the open sky. The days and the nights by the Scut River will probably leave lasting memories for everyone. The festival program included several workshops for young people. The knowledge of prehistoric crafts was revived and transferred to today. One of the workshops for bone objects was there, close to Vratsa. The products were utility things as well as amulets and decorations. Pottery enjoyed high interest.
Смесени чувства съм, защото от една страна е доста...
I have mixed feelings. It's quite hard on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's quite pleasant and it is fun.
Приятно занимание.
Творец се чувства. Много ми е приятно.
I feel I create things. It is so nice to make something by your own hands, which is quite rare in this century.
Officials, representatives of the national, regional and local government, and many mass media came for the evening show, which was the highlight of the festival program. All participants were here. The event provoked the interest of the local people. Much of the audience came because they were curious to see such a special tourist attraction on a real archaeological site. The show started on the excavation site and was then moved to the stage to illustrate modern interpretations of prehistoric beliefs, cults, and communication between people and their ancestors. Young people from northern Bulgaria and elsewhere were involved in a most exciting festival activity, the archaeology school with excavations.
Всеки път, когато откриваме нещо ново, е интересно, защото трябва...
Every time we find something new, it is really interesting because we need to use our imaginations to guess the purpose of the vessels we find. I recommend this to everyone who is interested in history and discovery.
Интерес за историята и за откривателството.
The ground was split into segments. They contained carefully prepared, in other words, buried objects for the young discoverers to find.
Скрита в една от шесте, огърлицата на Тодорка.
Todorka's necklace is hidden in one of the 6 fields, but they have not found it yet. A bowl of mussels was found in one of the pits. The mussels symbolize water, and water is an essential component of fertility. Burnt spelt was found in one of the bowls there.
Искаш ли малко от този хляб да пробваш?
A young Belgian family was there because the mother worked on the site as an archaeobotanist. There are archaeological evidences of spelt grown here as food for the people in the Neolithic age. Modern people try to find out the way their predecessors lived, what utility things they used, and how long the different processes took. Especially the most important one, making bread for the survival of the human species.
Това, което ме води тук...
What brings me here is the feeling of being part of the harmony of nature. Because in the city we are always immersed in different problems. Here you feel closer to the earth and it's more relaxing.
Чувство по-близо до земята и това фактически разтоварва доста.
И като пипнеш камъка,
When you touch the stone, you see how hard it was to make bread. And that was a daily routine for ancient people. That is why the feeling of making bread is so nice. That is why we want more people to try, so that they see it is far from easy and also so symbolic to make bread.
е много символично всъщност.
Coexistence of history, experiential archaeology, the striving at understanding an object or process through personal experience. All these innovative methods enlarge the specific knowledge of heritage. They enable more people to have contact with the past.
This is not the first time that I use primitive methods. I learn something new every day. Of course, there are things I can show. Now we will light fire in the primitive way with friction. I've only done this for myself and for my son, but I hope it will work.
Another group of friends of traditions and learning history through immediate contact with it joined the celebration. The Avito Hall Association explores the ancient Bulgarians' lifestyle, clothes, and weapons. The festival organizers hope that more participants from Bulgaria and Romania will come to the festival next year, because this event will strengthen its role in the development of tourism in the cross-border region. Three conferences with more than 200 participants from Bulgaria, Romania and Serbia were organized under the Danube I Can project. The event in Slatina was focused on the main topic of cultural heritage of Mission and Dacia. In Vratsa, the focus was on the condition, exploration and preservation of the cultural heritage in the cross-border region of northern Bulgaria and southern Romania. Prehistory research in the light of contemporary discoveries in southeastern Europe was the conference topic in Ruse. Prehistory research traditions here are more than a century old because of a remarkable local site, the Ruse Tell.
This research conference is the first of its kind in the museum history of Ruse. The city is worth it because of the large number of well-explored sites here integrated in the foundations of world-significant research in prehistory. The finds of such research can be seen in the exhibitions of the Ruse Museum. A good example is the Ruse Tell. It is mentioned in every research paper in Europe and in the research work of reputable prehistorians.
Along with heritage research and preservation, the Ruse Museum is deeply involved in scientific work. This is very much to the benefit of the project partners. Their efforts to bring together highly specialized professionals and a wide audience are remarkable. This opinion was shared by university lecturers who arrived for the event.
A conference on this topic is a pleasant surprise. The idea is admirable. There are few opportunities today for our colleagues, who are prehistory archaeologists, to go to a research conference focused on prehistory. It is great that the event is open to the community in Ruse.
The event in Ruse enabled active sharing of experience and knowledge regarding possible solutions of common issues of cross-border cultural heritage.
My presentation covers the research work on the flint tools found in the Hotnica Tel near Veliko Trnovo. The functional analysis reviews the use of tools in that settlement. The detailed analysis shows the phases of the community economic and social development. My presentation shows a new perspective to the Ruse Tell. It is focused on people's homes in prehistory and the tools they used for their living in those hard times. It will probably be interesting for the wide audience to know what things people had in their homes, what their life was like, what way they used the benefits of the Danube.
My presentation is Neolithic settlements between Gerdab Gorge and the Black Timok River. We have cooperation between Archaeological Institute and Berlin Topoi project, Berlin in Germany Topoi project on investigations and researches Neolithic settlements between area of Black Timok and Gerdab Gorge hinterland, Bor, Zaječar, Romuliana, etc.
Sets of research works conducted under the Danube ICANN project were presented at each conference. They were published in books on paper in Bulgarian and Romanian. The works describe the development of the different crafts in the cross-border region: jewelry, embroidery, pottery, stonemasonry, and woodworking. We can learn about their transformations in the lower Danube region through time. The specific historical knowledge that was shared in Ruse fits in the wider context of European research performed by young researchers, such as a PhD student from Kiel in Germany.
My project deals with fishing equipment from the entire lower Danube area, and the material in Bulgaria is very important for the whole picture that I want to include in my study. So I collaborated with some people from the Ruse Museum before on an excavation in Romania, and that is how I got to know more of the material here and to get to include it in my study.
Мисля, че конференция като тази, на която присъстваме всички...
A conference like this has a huge value for the processes of sharing heritage. People in day-to-day contact with history and museum artifacts rarely think how much expertise their knowledge contains. When it is shared with more people, everyone sees reasons to be proud. Proud of the finds, or of the links this project builds on both sides of the Danube.
И с намерението, а и с общите връзки, които този проект изгражда от двете страни на река Дунав. Дунав не е граница.
In prehistory, there were no borders. The Danube is not a border. Even then, the river was a bridge between different cultures. We see similar artifacts in the museums on both sides of the Danube. This can be a remarkably good example of cooperation in tourism. because sharing the common heritage along the lower Danube is very important for all of us.
Долен Дунав е изключително важно за всички нас.
Благодарение на Регионален исторически музей Русе.
Russe Regional Museum helped us all through the process of preparing the program, the speakers and the guests. We managed to attract a wider audience to listen about the latest developments in prehistory research related to recent archaeological excavations.
Two educational programs tailored to two different age groups of school students and youths were designed under the Danube I Can project. Their focus was common history, culture and heritage in the cross-border region. The summer workshops for school students and youths were organized in the three places in the cross-border region where the partners are based: Slatina in Romania and Vratsa and Ruse in Bulgaria. Each summer workshop lasted 4 days. Beadwork is part of the most ancient jewelry-making skills. It was born as early as prehistory and is still alive. The immediate results of this interesting work made the youngest trainees feel delighted. Pottery was known to ancient people much before the potter's wheel was invented. It is astonishing that the basic ways of making clay vessels are so similar. Differences and regional traits appear only when the product is ready for decoration and for the different final processing methods that have been developed. The best products will be included in special exhibitions in the local museums of the partners. The resource of local artisans was used at each of the three places. They are the people who keep knowledge from the past and transfer that knowledge to the young generation to preserve it and pass it on in the future. The artisans demonstrated craft techniques of making items for every day and for special occasions. On October 11th and 12th, 60 artisans from Romania and Bulgaria took part in the Crafts Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow assembly in the town of Slatina in Romania. There were also training workshops on ceramics, textile, pottery, jewelry, wood carving and embroidery. The event was part of the efforts to preserve and share the tangible and intangible cultural heritage of the cross-border region. The work of artisans from Romania and Bulgaria demonstrated how diverse the common cultural heritage is. The guests of the assembly were able to learn about the traditions and life in the past and about the way modern people in both countries live. The Romanian partner in the Danube I Can project, the Center for Consultancy and Project Management, Europroject, said,
Today, an event was organized under this project with old and new customs of craftsmen from the north of the Danube, the Romanian side, and the Bulgarian part, Vratsa and Ruse. Crafts have continued from ancient times, and collaborations in these customs have never been interrupted. Crafts such as ceramics, embroidery, and metalsmithing that is present on both sides of the Danube. The Danube, for the Romanian part and the Bulgarian part, is not a border. It is a river that crosses these two countries. They have been good friends and good neighbours from ancient times, after the times of Mihai Viteazul, Mircea the Elder in Wallachia, and the Bulgarian kingdom on the other side of the river.
The lead partner, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Vratsa, Bulgaria, believe that the assembly will reach its goals.
The Danube may separate us, but in this region one can see the similarity of shapes, patterns, ceramic decorations. There are many common things. I hope that this meeting of artisans will give the start of active communication, and it will continue after the project ends.
This assembly is really a valuable event, with the value added to the expected project results. Acquaintances and friendships that will last long after the project ends. Kuman Zhekov is a Bulgarian artisan from Harmony, but he lives now in Vratsa.
I make two types of ceramic products, sgraffito and antique. Meeting new people who will remain our friends in the future is one of the most precious things. There are many potters here, even some Bulgarian artisans whom I see for the first time.
3 groups of 12 artisans from both countries in each group were trained in the 3 days Train the Trainer courses in Vratsa, Ruse and Slatina. One of them is Desislava Tiholova from Ruse. She is one of the artisans of the Danube Association of Crafts, and at the same time she is an ethnologist and museum curator.
The value of such projects is that people can meet and communicate, and this is actually cultural interchange. I participate in all project phases. I was part of the conference, part of the training. I was trained in using amusing ways of teaching other people to practice my craft. I am happy to see the efforts people make to preserve crafts. I saw here some exquisite ceramic pots made by ladies who are very modest. Practicing their traditional craft is certainly one of the many things with which they are busy. Preservation of crafts is neither a responsibility nor a function of cultural institutions.
Crafts can be preserved and further developed through projects like Danube I Can. Let's take as an example a kind of ceramics that existed in prehistory and is made today. In fact, it was under a major international research project that it was studied, preserved and promoted.
I refer to the famous Neolithic culture of Vadastra that starts from beyond the Danube, from quite a bit within Bulgaria and going up to Slatina. This culture was revived in the year 2000 through an international project funded by the World Bank and the Romanian government. Numerous university professors from Belgium, France, England, Finland, America, Bulgaria and Romania have participated in this project. They set up this archaic technique, doing countless studies on the relics discovered on the site. Thus, after countless experiments, the archaic technique of lifting, decorating, finishing and burning belonging to the Neolithic culture of Vadastra was redeveloped.
Making garments and decorating them is one of the earliest crafts. Pre-modern societies encoded complete mythological systems in the patterns of fabrics and embroidery. Traditional costumes, even just a century ago, showed the demographic area of the people who wore them, regardless of whether they were aware of that.
I come from Romanaț area, and I focus on popular costume. We have a lot more Romanian influence from Romanaț, less Bulgarian. I try to keep some models, but the tradition is ours, from Romanaț. At the same time, I am also an instructor at the Public School of Arts and Crafts. I teach 24 students. My course lasts 2 years. I'm trying to keep the geometric figures you can see on my linen shirt, Ia. They can be found also on the Vadastra ceramics and on the Vadastra overcoats. We also preserve our entire area that is close to the Danube.
The assembly in Slatina was a significant cross-border cultural event in the heart of Olt district in Romania. There were more tempting treasures in town. Products cooked by traditional recipes were offered at the marketplace. The local people esteem the knowledge they have inherited from their ancestors when it comes to cooking or using typical regional methods of smoking and preserving meat, for example. As for fruit and vegetables, around 2 centuries ago many Bulgarians would go across the Danube to make their living by gardening in this region. Bulgaria and Romania are 2 countries which not only have a common border, they share similar history, culture, traditions and mindsets. Despite the close relations between the people of the 2 countries, there are still many unused opportunities in communication and sharing information on the social, economic or cultural developments in the neighboring communities. The results of the Danube I Can project are better cross-border cultural cooperation, increased awareness of the cultural heritage, promotion of cultural events and initiatives in the cross-border regions, a growing number of visitors to sites of cultural and natural heritage and attractions. The success of the project contributes to the more sustainable use of natural and cultural heritage in the cross-border region of the districts of Vrața and Rusa in Bulgaria and Olt in Romania.